Hi animals, it's Editing Wren here. Just a quick disclaimer about today's episode. We will be talking about some rather heavy topics. That includes the state of the world, as well as me and my co-host's experiences with transphobia, particularly in the workplace. If this is too heavy of a topic for you right now, that's totally fine. You're more than welcome to come back when you're ready, or go listen to one of our other episodes. With that being said, lots of love and enjoy today's episode. Oh, good evening. Welcome to the Candid Kennel, the only podcast recorded inside a fictional speakeasy, where speaking is easy, but barking is better. Come on in, have a drink, and let us furry animals guide you through tonight's topics. I'm your borzoi bartender, Wren.
And I'm your anti-capitalist coyote, Fray.
On tonight's menu, the trials, tribulations, and turbulent relationship we all face with that thing called money. And how to not let consumerism destroy your joy for anthropomorphic animals. This is a Broke Furry's Guide to the Fandom. Hello, episode 2! Here we are!
Oh god, we're sounding professional now.
I know,
I'm not sure
right?
how
Oh my
much I can
god.
handle.
Official new intro.
When do we have to get involved with crypto?
No.
So is that gonna have to be a me thing? Or
Please don't. Not even Dogecoin could convince us.
God no. Have you seen what that thing's doing lately?
Oh yeah, that dog's gone crazy.
The poor dog didn't deserve that.
Honestly, no one deserved to be turned into cryptocurrency. Anyway, yeah, this is episode 2. We've got a fancy new intro. And I want to mention the incredible response we've had to episode 1. It has been genuinely, astounding and really affirming. Thank you to everybody who has, dropped us a message or commented on, the Instagram posts about enjoying the pod and listening through.
Yeah, and especially thank you to all our friends who have promised that they're eventually going to listen through the first episode at some point.
So, hello to the friends who have not listened to episode 1 and skipped to episode 2, or our friends who never got around to listening to episode 1, just did, and now are immediately binge listening to episode 2. We see you, we know you, we love you.
We're actively making eye contact as we speak.
Yeah, I'm looking directly at your face.
I don't have a camera on my desk, but the surveillance state keeps track of us all.
Oh yeah, and don't worry, we're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
Other than that, we didn't mention this last episode, but I have had an Instagram this whole time. But Fray, you also have an Instagram now.
Yeah, I've been finally harassed and bullied into making an
Hey,
Instagram that is
no, I politely doggy whined at you and went, Fray, can you make a an Instagram so that I can promote it on the podcast?
Please, can you make an
Please,
Instagram?
please, please join Meta.
Oh, I don't like it when you describe it like that. I think maybe I should move to Blue Sky. Speaking of which,
Speaking of Blue Sky,
I do also have a Blue Sky that I will eventually remember the name of.
indeed, would you like to tell them the name of your Instagram?
My Instagram is Frey Coyote Fox.
I love the way you say coyote.
Co-
Coy? Are you being coy, Fray?
It's spelled like that. I've never heard
It's coyote.
I'm never talking again.
Alright.
I'm taking a monastic vow of silence.
Unfortunately, I need you to talk for the pod. It can't just be me. The
Fine,
viewers
if
don't want that.
my arm is tied behind my back, I must.
Well, we can just ask the listeners. Listeners, is it coyote or coyote? Or any other pronunciation?
Or is it pronounced more like coyote?
Coyote. Coyote. Also, if you missed it, my Instagram is Renzoy. On
Yeah.
the note of just the pod in general, before we get into our very interesting topic today, if you are enjoying this podcast, it would actually be incredible if you left us a review. You can either do this directly through Spotify if you're listening there. Rate us 5 stars, please. That would be cool. Or you can just drop us a review either on our Instagram or on the YouTube comments.
Any feedback, any comments, believe it or not, we do actually read all of them.
Yeah. Any that get sent to me get directly sent to Fray. I screenshot them and send them to Fray.
It's great, except for the ones that are sent at midnight.
The feedback
Yeah.
genuinely means a lot and is really helpful, especially because we're so new and we're figuring things out. But we're also kind of having the time of our lives. This is so much fun.
Oh yeah, and all the positive feedback and people going like, "Wow, this is actually really good," makes I think both of us go like, "Wow, we're doing a good job. We're doing something that's good."
We're doing something that matters.
Yeah.
And we're just having fun. We're just a couple animals having a chat here in our private bar, here to entertain you guys and talk about cool things in the furry fandom. Speaking of our new private bar theme, Freya, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm dinking my oiter. Just plain oiter.
I fully for a second I thought you said oyster.
I
Drinking my
can't drink
oysters.
oysters. Otherwise I die.
Yeah, because you're like deathly allergic to shellfish, right?
Yeah, no. Even though I talked about this with a person, apparently oysters technically aren't shellfish.
Ah,
By like the same family as crustaceans, I mean. But that doesn't mean I'm about to go like, oh yeah, that means I can
that
skull
doesn't
an
mean it
entire.
might not destroy your entire body.
It might kill me, but we just don't know yet.
It might disintegrate you from the inside.
I mean, who's to say?
Who's to say? Only one way to find out.
Yeah,
You
no,
know, immortal till proven.
legitimately.
Yeah, immortal till proven mortal. I am I am drinking a nice cold carbonated cola because it is really hot here today.
Oh yeah, no, and it's alliteration week.
Yeah, I'm all about alliteration because it is incredibly hot here in Australia today. As always, are we surprised? No,
No, unfortunately.
unfortunately not. But that is enough of our initial ramblings. Thank you for listening through that. Let's get to today's topic. Frey, what joyful topic do we have for today?
The destruction of joy in the capitalist system that consumes us all.
Yippee!
Aren't we having fun?
Aren't we having fun? I promise that this episode isn't actually going to be that much of a downer. But this is something that we really felt would be important to cover, particularly considering much of the state of the world at the moment. We are, two trans girls who are obviously directly affected by some of the things that are happening in the world at the moment, and we feel that this is a topic that is relevant, particularly to the fandom as well.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And it's something we can really sink our teeth into.
Oh yeah, just how I like my women to do.
That was the subtlety of a 10-ton brick.
Hey, I'm a dog. Leave me alone. Dogs don't need to be subtle. We just need to be cute.
Anyway,
Anyway, our first and foremost thing that we want to get to that will kind of set us off on our full discussion. Not all furries are loaded. Please know this. We're not rich.
don't think you're a failure in the furry community just because someone's blown $10,000 on a commission you might have wanted. It's that simple.
I honestly, Frey, I'm gonna get this out right now. I hate the pervasive myth that and it honestly comes a lot from non-furries looking into the fandom, being like, "Yo, furries are loaded." It's like, no, please
We're
don't think
really
that.
not.
Like, there's always gonna be, you know, big spenders in any space, right? And there's a lot of things in the fandom that are not cheap.
Yeah, no. And a lot of them get a lot more coverage because they're not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
You hear about the, $10,000 fursuits, you hear about the $15,000 commissions, you hear about the closed species that go for upwards of $500.
Yep. It's not healthy for the perception of the fandom, especially internally as well. I think it's actually pretty harmful, and I think we should be embracing a more holistic view of what wealth is in the fandom, and also what wealth is in general. I think a lot of what we're talking about today is simply a reflection of societal times, right? It is a reflection of the way that society and capitalism has been brainwashing us into believing what true wealth is, which we're going to get to all of that. But right now we want to keep it directly on topic about the fandom before we, annihilate capitalism.
Yeah, no, I will take pot shots at capitalism all the time, though. No offense to capital. No, yes offense to
Yes, offense to
capitalism.
capitalism.
Changed my mind. Fuck that.
That's so hot of you, babe. People are gonna think. People are gonna. You know what? Actually, hey, Fray. Question before
Yeah.
we continue. Are we dating? People have been
Uh,
asking me that.
That's a little. I mean, that's a tough question.
Yeah.
Do you think we're dating? Do we have the paperwork done? Are we? I thought it was obvious from context clues,
Yeah.
honestly, but like
You know, art is
it,
subjective.
art is a really art is a collaborative project.
Yeah,
So
it's a collaborative project. Art is subjective, and it's up to interpretation.
I don't think. I think this is the case of death of the author. I think
Ooh. Okay.
this is a case where the readers are left to decide.
Mhm. I think we can just leave that up to the listeners.
Yeah.
You tell us. Anyway, I really think that the idea that all furries are loaded particularly is harmful because it directly disregards like the people who love the fandom like quietly. I think it's really harmful to the people who are a part of the fandom who are either in a place where they can't afford certain things that are quote unquote expected of them, which I hate that. I hate that some furries are literally just like believe that the expectation is to be a furry. You need insert all these things that require money here.
Yeah, we have a very simple word for those peoples. Traitors of the working class.
And I think it also like doesn't consider the fact that some people are not in a place where they feel safe enough to, have a fursuit in their bedroom or have furry art that they can hold on to. I was most definitely in that position. I have been there. And it can be really isolating to literally feel like you've got this thing that you care about so much and that you want to be a part of and you're watching people be a part of and you just have to sit there and be like, I guess this is probably never going to happen for me, but that's fine. I'll just enjoy from afar, I guess.
That feeling of being unwelcomed, kind of well,
Yeah.
unpersoning is a very important part of the fandom, but like,
Unanimaling.
unanimaled by the fandom purely just because you're not wealthy enough to buy a new ref sheet or like commission a good artist or like get certain comms or like,
This is the entire reason. Well, I can't say the entire reason. This is honestly one of the reasons I became an artist because I wanted to engage in the fandom, but I didn't have money for it. I wanted to be a part of it, and so I started drawing.
It's the the important part of engaging with the fandom isn't like, how much money you can throw at a problem. It's what you think about the fandom. It's about what you can give to the fandom, if that makes sense. Creation isn't the only like method of like being a part of the furry community. Consumerism is not the only way to become a part of the furry community. The most important part is that you yourself are willing to be a member.
Yeah, and you're enjoying it as well. Like it's about joy. It's a hobby. Like yeah, obviously it's
Like,
not a hobby for all of us because some of us, make a living from it, which I also would like to talk about this episode. But
oh yeah, no.
I really think it's like the fandom is what you make of it. The issue with like people having such an expectation of money when it comes to the fandom is it also perpetuates trend chasing and popularity culture, which then directly feed into capitalism. Person shouldn't be popular just because they spent 10k on a fursuit.
Person shouldn't be popular just because they're a very famous artist that charges a lot and is a massive dick.
Right? It's like here's the thing, we're not actually talking about anybody here. This is examples of like a certain energy of a type of person.
Yeah, there are certain people who could, if you squint, fit into those categories, but that doesn't mean that we're talking about those people in particular.
I also think trend chasing just in general is itself like a bit of a curse. Again, we could bring this into like fast fashion and how the furry fandom and fursuit creation should itself be in direct contrast with something like fast fashion because it's handmade and handcrafted. When we try and chase quick trends that develop fast and develop cheaply, it is a direct contribution to things like fast fashion, which itself is directly killing the planet. No furries on a dead planet.
No, anything on a dead planet.
Yep.
It's just, well, no, that's not true. There'll be a lot of shareholder value generated by.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It disregards the effort of real people who are both earning money in the fandom, which is good. We want to get that out right now. We are not at all shaming people for making money from the fandom. That is incredible. If you can directly make a livable income from a thing that you love doing, that's beautiful. And I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, that's a fantastic thing to be able to do. That's like a gift. If you can chase at your own enjoyment at your own pace in your own space, then yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. But having the idea that, like, you know, every furry has a ton of money that they can just throw at luxury items disregards how much effort goes into making those luxury items and the work, art, and like fursuits that are sold, right?
Yeah. It also disregards the effort a lot of people have to put into earning those luxury items.
Oh yes, don't worry. I have a very fun anecdote about that. It also shames low-income workers.
Is anyone here making more than $35 an hour? I'm not.
Sure, not me. Yeah, you don't need to like speed run the fandom, right? It's a lifelong hobby, not a race. There aren't like goalposts or like there isn't a finish line of cool, I have hit all these furry milestones with the money that I have. Yippee, I've completed the fandom.
Congratulations on your completionist speedrun.
Yeah, world record speedrun, any percent.
Any percent low enjoyment.
You'll see it at AGDQ next year. I think it's just really important to just embrace the space around you in the fandom and let things come to you in time. There's no rush. There's so much content to consume all the time, even outside the fandom, obviously. Like that idea of, you know, fast content, fast fashion, things coming at you quickly is intentionally made to overwhelm you. Social media is built to overwhelm you with content so that you don't actively engage with any of it in reality.
If I can jump on a tangent here,
Yeah, go for it.
this is kind of also a reason why so many fandoms seem to like start for a little bit and then just immediately die out these days. You will see like old fandoms. There will be fandoms for like ancient stuff, warrior. Maybe describing warrior cats as ancient isn't good for my mental health.
We love Warrior Cats, by the way.
I haven't read it. Unfortunately I
It's really good in audiobook form. Highly recommend audiobook Warrior Cats.
Okay, interesting. I'll keep that in mind. But like you still see people talking about Animorphs. You still see because and like these fandoms had time to develop. These fandoms had time to kind of be themselves and attract a following and be what a fandom is meant to be, as opposed to just, oh wow, 10 episodes of a show have finished. Well, time to go to the next thing. I need the engagement. I
Yeah,
need
guess I binged watch 12 hours of one show, 3 seasons long. Guess I've got a new thing to do.
Yeah, no. You still see these pockets of fandom, like, still around. People will persist, but that large scale kind of, relatable fandom that everyone can enjoy just doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah, and persistence is resistance.
Survive your profit margins.
Speaking of profit margins, we also really want to talk about something that's directly personal to the both of us. You kind of slightly mentioned it earlier with the fact that neither of us make above, what did you say, 30, 35?
35 AUD an hour.
You can do the conversion rate yourself.
This is left blank as an exercise to the reader.
We want to talk about the fact that neither of us make a huge amount of money, and we both have, like, yes, we are furry podcasters, which inherently is a little weird and a little interesting. One, we don't make money from this pod. This is purely a joy thing. This is a labor of love, if you will. Both Fray and I work quote unquote normal jobs. We have real jobs outside of this. This isn't a thing that makes us money. We do this as a joy. In fact, Frey, you're going to work after this.
Yep. I have a lovely shift in the Misery Factory coming up right after this podcast episode is recorded. And yeah, I'm trying not to be bitter about it.
But hey, you can just think about the next podcast episode while you're at work.
I'll do my best.
I do that all the time at my work. I literally have my A6 notebooks that I keep, and it looks like I'm just like, journaling or I'm sketching, which I totally do. But in between my shifts at work, I am writing podcast episodes. Yeah, in full transparency. Hi, I'm Wren, and I'm a bartender. I am a bartender and a barista, and that's what I do. Yes, I'm a furry artist, and I make art and occasionally take commissions. But what pays my rent? I'm a bartender. I serve alcohol and drinks.
And I'm Frey. I am a checkout chick. I sit around smiling banally at people who come through the checkout and ask me silly questions about how their groceries are to be packed. And yeah, I'm expected to just stand there and smile.
Well, you're really good at standing there and looking pretty, Frey. So
I'm all right at it. They've got some professionals at my job.
I'm really not helping the rumors that we're dating.
No, you're really not.
It's okay. It's okay. Again,
Again, this is left to an exercise to the reader.
I'm just making it more fun for them to figure out.
Yeah, no.
It's just queer bait. We're both trans women, so it's
We're both
fine,
trans
right?
women, and I don't know if this is queer baiting. I'm thinking
Yeah.
about it, and I'm just like,
No, it's just plot. We're just enhancing the lore of the pod.
this is both queer representation and queer baiting.
Yeah. This is just lore.
Yeah, no. Free law.
Free lore. Yeah, we bring this up about quote unquote normal jobs because there is so much stigma that comes with working the kind of jobs that we do that are rooted in intentionally undervaluing work
Yeah.
via both, low pay, but also just generally being disrespected every hour of the day.
Yep. Front-facing jobs. I used to
Yep.
work hospitality. I used to work a hotel job
Mhm.
delivering meals to rooms. And people are really nice when they think they're never going to see you again.
Oh my god.
Should point out, for the sake of I always have resting sarcasm voice. That is specifically sarcasm.
I can definitely attest to working in a hotel as well. Why are half the men always topless when you go to do room service?
It's because every single one of those useless bastards believes they are God's gift to anything woman shaped. I was still a guy when I was doing hotel work. I just looked feminine, and
Mhm.
still I had guys coming up to me and just going like, "Hey, by the way, you want to earn a tip?" And I would just sit there and go like,
Ew.
"No, go away."
No. Gross.
Oh, God.
My side of that is Frey and I talk about this a lot, kind of just personally. I look very femme.
Oh yeah, no, just incredibly femme.
Thanks. But I only bring this up because I could be in like a full face of makeup, eyeliner, wings snatched, like full like blush on my cheeks, Sabrina Carpenter eating it up, and I'll get misgendered. And I'll get, hey mate, hey bro, hey buddy. Buddy's the worst one because it's so infantilizing.
I cannot stand if I go to work and someone just looks at me and just says, "Oh, hey," looks over at my name tag XYZ. I'm just thinking like, you shouldn't do that. I shouldn't have a name tag.
I do appreciate that my work doesn't have name tags because
Oh, God.
I don't want people to know my name at work. Like that's
Yeah,
weirdly enough like personal information that I'm honestly not willing to share. It's like against my consent to have my name exposed to people I don't know.
yeah, no, and I have to sit there and just deal with like someone who thinks they're really my friend telling me, "Hey,
Mm.
buddy, hey, pal, hey, XYZ."
Oh, yeah. I deal a lot with like being misgendered at the bar. The issue with also working a bar is it brings in the type of men who think they know how to do my job. I deal so often with, and I had this recently. One of the recent examples of this is a guy tried to explain to me, someone who's been working at a bar for nearly 5 years, who has been formally trained multiple times in hospitality, cocktail making, baristaing, like coffee making, all of this, like responsible service of alcohol, tries to explain to me what a tab is. As in, oh, where you put food and drink so that they can pay at the end. He tried to explain that to me. He was like, "Oh, can I put it on a tab? You know, I want to put it all in one thing so I can pay it at the end. I want to put all my drinks and my food on them. Can you do that for me?" I'm just there like, mate, you could have just told me what you wanted to order.
Diversity win. Random cis guy mansplain. Oh no.
To all the wonderful, incredibly powerful, beautiful trans people that might be listening to this who are working these kind of jobs that we're talking about and deal with disrespect and misgendering, I'm so fucking proud of you. That shit sucks and it's hard and we live it. And I want you to know right now that me and Fray think you're fucking awesome.
Shit is difficult. I personally, my work will not let me use a preferred name. They just have a name
Oh
tag with my
god.
dead name on it. And I'm just sitting
Oh,
there like, "Hey, can we maybe change that?" And they're just like, "Haha, no."
I dealt with, so my managers are pretty cool, and everyone at my work genders me correctly. Like everyone on the staff team genders me correctly. Um However, I dealt with a little bit of direct transphobia when it came to so we use a specific like third party system for like clocking in and out. Like it's an app that we use. Um and it's got my dead name on it. And so my manager directly called the basically the people who run the app to basically be like, "Hey, so that my staff member doesn't get continually misgendered when she uses your app, can you make an edit to her, homepage so that it just doesn't say, you know, her incorrect name?" Shout out to my fucking manager for doing that for me and not putting that on me as well, because it shouldn't be my responsibility and is also stressful for me to do. Um, and the email I got back, I will never forget, just says, um, "Sorry, that's not possible without legal documentation." And I'm like,
Just
just change it in the file. Like, I know how your app works. It would take you like 3 seconds. What do you mean you can't do that without legal documentation? It's not even my payslip that you're changing. It's quite literally just the homepage of the app.
it's just
Uh,
that is the most I can't say it in any other way. That is just blatant transphobia.
Lazy, it's transphobia. So just know that both of us are very familiar with these kind of difficulties with working normal jobs.
Yeah.
And there is no shame in being upset and being angry and dealing with all of this while also being underpaid.
If your job is terrible, we empathize so much with you.
Yeah. And I have dealt, interestingly, personally, with a little bit of an internal conundrum, right? I'm known as a furry artist by, the kind of people who are listening to this.
Mhm.
I want to make it really clear. Being a furry artist isn't my fix-all. I don't I don't make enough to do furry art full time. Not right now. I'd love to be able to. That would be incredible. That would be like a dream come true. It would also be a lot of work and it would be difficult and scary because there would be a lot of admin I would have to do for my own funds for my future, things like that. Even when I have really been like actively making money with my art, it's never been like enough to pay my rent. I am still, a bartender on the side. What I do for the fandom is out of love and out of joy, and there really is a part of me that wishes my art didn't have a monetary component, that I could have be living in a time or a society where I could just be making art as the thing that I do, and I don't even have to like sell it to get by. I think it would be incredibly cool to have been able to just make art because I want to and give it to people and share it. But unfortunately, I have to somehow monetize it.
Mm.
And I kind of hate it. I kind of hate doing that. Trying to monetize something that is literally made of love and joy does take something out of it, I think.
Yeah, it's that we should point out this isn't like it's saying don't support your local artists, don't like
Please support your local artists.
support your local artists. They are doing something that is very important
And it's
just
hard.
it's difficult. It's just have you ever tried to pick up a pen? No, of course you've
I
tried to
have.
pick up.
Yes,
I
of course
have
I have.
tried to pick up a pen and paper. I cannot draw. Let's be honest. I put 3 years of effort into trying and then just like went, I don't enjoy this. I'm not good at this.
And that's okay. That's also another thing that like I don't want to, as an artist, be on here and be like, art is the best thing and everyone should be an artist. I'd love that. I'd love if everyone wanted to at least try making art. But also, it's okay to accept if it's not for you. Like, some things are not for you. Some things are not built for the kind of person you want to be, or that doesn't feel right. And that's okay. Just do what feels right for you.
It's important that you're not. If you treat like being a furry artist as like the potential dream job that you'll eventually one day be able to, you're not gonna get joy out of it. I do not treat writing as like a potential. I'm not gonna write a novel. One day there will not be a novel that I will write. There's not gonna be like any huge big epic work that'll get me 10 million years of dividends and I'll become the new
Not in
Nice,
my
man.
safe space. I'm cutting that. I'm fully gonna put a censor over that.
Oh yeah. I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm never going to be able to do that. But I don't have to. I am doing something that I enjoy. I'm participating in a hobby that I really enjoy as something that I just do. It's not. Yeah.
And you're allowed to do things. I feel like we say that, like, we're probably gonna end up saying this like every episode. You can do things.
You can just do whatever you want. It's
You're
free.
allowed to just
Well,
do
most of the
stuff.
time.
You can make it as free as you'd like. There are ways to make things free, and sort of as like a tone shift. I know that this episode has been a little bit of like grumpy animals rant about capitalism, and we're not done. There's more that we want to talk about.
Oh yeah, no, trust me.
I just want to sort of clear the air and let you know that we are gonna get to some more sort of positive discussion a little bit later on about like fun alternatives to different parts of the fandom and different ways you can interact with the fandom.
Yeah.
Right now, we just sort of need to get this all off our chest.
Oh yeah, no, this is cheaper than therapy.
Yeah. Real quick, I actually get my therapy for free. This is my quick recommendation to make sure you look into, particularly if you're under 25. There are actually a lot of really accessible services that are available for under 25-year-olds, sometimes under 30-year-olds if you're lucky, that will offer free counseling, free therapy. You just need to apply. That's how I managed to get into therapy. Just a quick note. It's really cool. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm basically ancient. I'm basically a grey fur because
Aren't you my age?
I'm 25 this year.
Okay, well, yeah, me too.
Well, no, 26 this year. 25 currently.
Damn, MILF.
Damn, MILF alert.
The M stands for my friend.
The I stands for and.
My friend I'd like to friend. Oh, don't clip that. I'm gonna have to clip that now.
You're gonna have to.
That's gonna be really funny. With like the little talking Wren. Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Whew, back on topic.
Back on topic. Meanwhile,
I'm really just pounding at the "Are we dating" bit.
oh yeah, no, this is gonna be. I'm not sure this is gonna be heated debate, but I'm definitely gonna get a few Discord messages from my friends just being like,
Here's the thing, right? This is and Frey can attest to this, and most of my friends can directly attest to this. You get me in person. These kind of jokes are pretty par for the course.
oh yeah, no, constant.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. I shoot
Oh,
every
fine.
shot.
Yeah, no, just you shoot every shot, I fumble every shot possible,
And yet I started a podcast with you.
and yet I am in the podcast.
Yeah.
We're so back.
We're so back. Back on topic, that is.
I believe there's a quote that says, "If you believe the revolution has an end, it will never come."
Oh, wait, that's sick.
Yeah.
That's a really good quote.
Unfortunately, if we keep talking about this much longer, I'm going to start getting into anarchist theory, and
Maybe that's
yeah,
for another episode.
maybe that's for another episode.
Furry anarchy. Here's how to. I don't know.
Here's how to establish a commune.
Furry commune. Let's go.
Let's go.
Puppies.
No way, the big farm upstate.
That's where they are. Anyway, capitalism sucks and quite literally tries to put a numerical value on literal hours of your life.
I cannot stress enough. You get exactly one life. Well,
Unless you're a cat furry and then you like somehow manage to squeeze out 9, but you know, yeah, you are worth more than a job could ever give you. You are, whether you're a dog, a cat, or any sort of creature, you inherently have worth that is far beyond anything, any amount of money, any amount of time a job can make you believe that you are worth. Your life deserves to be lived.
don't sacrifice everything that you are for your job. I cannot stress this enough. You're never going to please your manager as much as they want you to. You're never going to be able to. Hell, even in this current environment, you're never going to be able to, you know, vertical jumping, just like in one job, doesn't happen. Doesn't exist anymore. They'll try. They'll try and get you to die for your employment.
Capitalism, as much as it will like sure as hell try, cannot ever truly represent the value that you have to give. And I talk a lot about like artists and art on this pod because I am an artist myself, so I have a lot of personal experience. I think particularly when we're talking about the way that capitalism tries to warp perspective, it really tries to warp the value of art. And we have most certainly seen that recently with the emergence and rampant disregarding of real art by AI art. I'm going to say this right now, and I'm going to say it once so that nobody is confused. Fuck AI art. It is not real art.
Yeah, no. AI art is absolute shit. Anyone who calls himself an artist because they know how to write a few words into a prompt, no. Write a couple of thousand words like me.
Yeah. It's actually been disgusting me how much. I mean, I'm not surprised that, like, you know, big companies like Adobe are jumping onto this, but it's really disgusted me how, because I get advertisements for this sort of stuff all the time. For their new like generate image prompts in like their creative softwares. I'm like, what? Sorry, it just upsets me so much as an artist to watch how prevalent it has swiftly become, and it's just crap. It directly ties with capitalism trying to devalue art. It sure as hell damn tries. And it will continually try to do that to convince you that it can be made fast or simply or without effort. Ties directly back with our discussion of fast fashion. These things are not simple.
It's just gross. The only reason AI art could exist would be if people view art purely as a capitalist property.
Yeah, but it's not. It's yours. It's ours as humanity. It is a gift that we have been given. Art has a value that capitalism and money can never touch because it comes from us and our ability to tap into that like ephemeral act of creation. This is why AI art isn't art, because AI art is a facade to make you believe that art has no value and that art can be made by something that is inhuman. There's a reason why art is under the category of humanities. It's literally about humanity. It is a reflection of our times and the society that we live in and the people making it. Because it is us tapping into that act of creation, it is something that just can't be replicated. So own that, embrace that. Whenever you are making something, writing something, creating a piece of art, engaging with art, own the fact that in those specific moments, because it is happening in that moment, it cannot be replicated. It is yours. You and the art that you are engaging with is a reflection of the world and your inner self, and that is beautiful. And no matter how much they try and tell you that all of these things can do that better or faster, it can never take it away from you. Oh.
Yeah, no,
I'm very passionate about this.
I can understand it because it is one of those things that is just awful. It's awful that like capitalism as a system just moves on to take whatever is left of people once you've taken all their time and all their money and everything they are. It just takes everything that's left. Your
Yeah.
creativity, your expression, your ability to just it's
We sound exasperated because it's exasperating.
it is exasperating. I as a like writer, I also have to deal with people going like, "Hey, I made this AI generated slop based on your fan fiction." And I just have to sit there and go like, "I just want you to not do that. Just go away, please."
Just engage with the medium.
You don't need to have infinite time and infinite things. You don't need to use my stuff to generate even more slop for you to drink down while you work endless dead end jobs. I'm gonna start ranting in a moment about capitalism and its effects on like people's ability to consume media.
Go for it.
You want me to go for it?
100%.
Well,
If you'd like to.
capitalism thrives on making everything you consume, everything you are, everything slightly controversial, every single piece of representation in media into something that is easily palatable, easily cut out and chopped and served into 1,000 different pieces, purely so that people can enjoy it without critically thinking about what they consume. Every single thing that has been produced to simply turn the dials and make a profit and make the line go ever up, no matter what is lost on the way, no matter what is destroyed along the path, no matter how many careers you have to burn to the ground and artists you have to throw to the side just to make the line go ever onwards, because it turns out it makes a lot more money if you just cancel the project. It makes a lot more money if you just tell these creatives to go away. The AI can just turn out more slop, ever more slop. Nothing is left. Unfortunately, it turns out what happens when you decide to try and capitalize on people making, anything is people will start doing that for free because, it's enjoyable. People enjoy sewing. People enjoy writing and drawing and doing every kind of art, animation and anything. And those things are considered lesser by a system that decides no, your free time, your hobbies, everything must be determined by how much value you can make for some shithead to buy his 15th yacht.
Your art is direct resistance to that.
Yeah. I think that's most of the venom I have for those kinds of systems out of.
That was so sexy of you.
Gee, thank you, Twel's hair.
He wags my tail. But again, with all that being said, I just want to quickly say before we move on to the fun part of the podcast, there is no shame in selling things under capitalism, but please just remember that what you create always has worth that is above it.
To way to the other side of that, there is no shame in buying things under capitalism. Sometimes, if you feel like supporting your artist with money, one of your favorite artists is the only way you can do that, then do it. Like, artists love being able to like get a little cash bonus to buy something nice for themselves or something good, or like be able to like take a little bit more time off work, or like spend a little time on their hobby.
When I have taken commissions and people are like, here's a little tip, and I am able to like, buy myself some food, or like buy myself like a new notebook or something. I'm just like, this is so cool. Thank you.
It's just nice. It goes down to the core of human experience, which is giving a gift just makes you feel good,
Hmm.
and giving a gift makes the recipient feel good.
And this podcast is our gift to you.
Yeah. The massive anti-capitalist rants are just, the tip to add to the gift.
if you'd like to join us, we'll do a quick deep breath in and out, and we'll start talking about some more fun things. That was really
Yeah.
good, though. That was cathartic. That felt really good. I think we all kind of needed that, especially with everything that's going on right now. Let's talk about alternatives for engaging with the fandom. This is the actual Broke Furry's guide to the fandom. This is where we're going to talk about sort of alternatives to like well-known parts of being a furry. So alternatives to fursuits, alternatives to conventions, alternatives to engaging with art and paying for art. Obviously, like we said, please support your local artists. Great, but these are just ways that those who are either on low income or no income, or just trying to save money, can engage with fandom activities because you all deserve to, and it's fun.
Yeah. It's just nice being able to talk to people about the same hobbies, or like
Yeah,
show people something you've made, or like just talk.
having something to do.
Yeah.
Also, quick shout out to, I put out a little questionnaire on my Instagram story for suggestions for this section of the podcast. So shout out to absolutely everybody who sent me a little suggestion. I've written them all here. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you for listening. Love you. So we'll start off with alternatives to fursuits. I quickly want to get out of the way that at conventions, you are welcome. A majority of people who attend conventions don't wear fursuits.
Yeah. A fursuit is not a invitation to a
No.
like you will not be shunned at the door.
Yeah, they're not gonna check your like fursuit ID when you walk in the door of the convention. Like,
Have, hello, do you have a certain value of money on your person?
oh my
No.
god. Sometimes I walk through like a really expensive hotel and it will literally be like, it feels like I'm like I can't walk through here. Like they're checking my bank balance as I walk through. Like, but just know that you are welcome. You can still go to cons and have an incredible time with absolutely no like furry related paraphernalia. A lot of
Yeah.
people do this. I do this as someone who doesn't currently have a fursuit yet.
Yes.
So here's some alternatives to wearing or having a fursuit. You can make your own. There
Yeah.
are so many tutorials on YouTube on how to do this. There's some incredibly talented fursuit makers who have put effort into making step-by-step tutorials on how to do it. How cool is that? That's communal sharing.
It's so like beautiful just being able to see the thousands of people just sharing their advice, their information, just how you can do this, how you can make it a thing. Yeah.
The last con I went to, which was WAF 2024, one of the like convention, what's the word? Like events, like one of the things that happened during the convention was a fursuit making competition, but specifically with just scrap materials, and you had like 30 minutes, and it was like make the silliest creation you can, and they were all like obviously like scrapped together and roughly sewn, but it was fun. And that's amazing. Like that's so cool. Just yeah, I've been told by many people that making your own fursuit is actually like a lot of fun. It is difficult because it's a pretty
Oh yeah, no.
involved craft, but I've been told it's like a good time. And that's another way to resist everything we just talked about. Is like skill development, is drawing, is creating, is developing a skill just for yourself, just because you want to. This fandom really does foster a space that allows you to just be creative.
That's the most important thing you can be in the furry fandom. Creative.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
point. What's really cool about the fandom is it's already like an inherent prompt for creativity. It's like, yeah, you like anthropomorphic animals? Cool, go do something with it.
Believe in yourself.
That there's so much value in just being like, I want to start learning how to do this thing. And yeah, that's really cool. It's a starting point for ideas.
Yeah.
Other cool alternatives. So we're sort of in like the crafty area. You could knit or crochet as a knitter myself. I have knitted like fursuit beanies, which is very fun. You can knit, like paw prints. You can knit gloves with paws on them. You can knit yourself like a little pair of ears.
Yeah.
These are things that you have available to you. Papercraft as well. Oh my god, have you seen that amazing paper fursuit?
I have not actually.
I will have to find it for you after the pod. Uh, there is this incredibly detailed, like fully made out of like paper. I'd love to like ask them how they made it. It's like bright blue and orange and green, and it's just beautiful. And even the paws are like big, boxy, like papercraft paws. I've also seen the papercraft deer that's like made of like voxels, like little squares with like square hands, and it's so cool and like Minecrafty. That's all valid. That's creativity. I love it. I love
Yeah.
seeing creative interpretations of like classic furry paraphernalia. I've also loved recently, there's been a bit more of an expansion, and I like to believe an acceptance of things like Therian masks and pup hoods at cons. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say it right now. I think pup hoods are totally fine on the con floor. I think it's fine. Go for it. Go for it.
It's one of those things that's just like people like love to make a mountain out of a molehill. It's
Yep.
just a funny looking mask.
That's just a doggy. Let the doggies be doggies.
Yeah. Let the dogs.
Let the dog what the dog doing. It's also like, yeah, it's not a big deal. As long as there's no, direct issues happening because of someone wearing a mask, it's just a mask.
Yeah. It's nothing like. It's not gonna be the end of the world. It's not gonna be like.
Also, if there's any space that someone should feel safe enough to wear that kind of thing, it should be a furcon,
Yeah. No.
in my opinion.
That's my opinion too. But
Also, kink at Pride. Anyway.
anyway.
Also, you can wear like ears and a tail. I did that at my last convention. You could just wear a cute little set of ears and a tail. Also, like there's so many vendors at furry conventions. I love an artist alley. You can just get some at the artist alley. I know someone who bought their fursuit at an artist alley. Oh wait, it's my co-host.
Yeah. No. I bought Fray at an artist alley. At a very reasonable price because it was
They're like one of their first designs.
oh yeah, it was, I believe, their first.
That's incredible. And I think like that must be so rewarding for that artist as well to know that it got bought and is loved and appreciated.
Yeah, and is currently somewhere in Australia.
Aussie coyote.
Invasive species.
I think what we're trying to say with this part is use what you have. You can customize clothes and accessories you already own. Some people might have seen it on my Instagram. I have this like blue cap that I always wear backwards that I know Frey loves. That is covered in little purple paw prints. I painted those on. And I had a blue backpack, and I painted matching purple paw prints on the back of that one. So I have a little matching like hat and bag set,
Yeah.
and it's super cute. You can just paint all of your clothes and cut them up and customize them. That is radical. That's resistance. That's creativity. Just do it. Just go for it. You have our blessing. Like,
Yeah.
let your creativity do its thing. You don't need all the materials you think you do. You use what you have. It saves you money. It's fun. Like we mentioned, artist alleys are wonderful. But again, since we're speaking about like low income earners like ourselves, uh, no artist wants you to spend all the money that you have.
Yeah, do not spend every single dollar you have immediately on day one of the con. This is more also
Yeah,
general con
Fray.
advice.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Do
In my defense, it was the last day of the con.
you want to know my trick for artist alleys?
Hmm?
I always do a loop first. This way I can also like talk to, the artists and get a feel for them. And also just like meet new cool artists, and I get to show them my art. And yeah, so do one loop. Get a feel for the con as well, and see how busy it is. See how sweaty you get. Cons are pretty densely packed areas oftentimes. And then just in your mind, or even in like a little notebook, just jot down like things that genuinely caught your eye and that you remember. Those things are actually going to be the things you might want to spend money on. I love that we have an internal economy though. That's very cool. I think our internal economy, works better if we share what we actively have to give and not like gouging your own savings for it. I know it's really tempting, and I've definitely done it myself. I'm not a saint when it comes to this, but I think we are better for it by embracing the art economy that we have built here. Like, it's so cool that we have a fandom that exists because we make art.
Yeah, it's just nice. It's nice having these kinds of things that we can, always reach out and
Mm.
like,
Sort of following that, I want to mention sort of alternatives to engaging with art. You could learn to draw. I know it's
yeah,
a slow process and can be really brutal at times, but there is such a personal power in every time you sit down to create something, you're telling yourself and the world that what you're doing matters.
yeah, it's good for you to be able to create something. You don't have to just draw. You don't have to just like do anything like that. You can just,
Yeah, and like you can
yeah,
make friends through doing that, and like do that together. Do things together with friends. Go out and like just be animals in the woods. Like, that's so much fun. Like, these are ways that you can engage with the fandom. It's community, right? Engage with your community. Go be an animal. That's fun.
be the most yourself you can be. Another thing, like the ways you can engage with writing and the the thing about writing is let's be honest, you did a lot of it in school. Not everyone has the privilege of like, oh yeah, no, I had so much free time in school. I just had like XYZ. Some people struggle with writing. Some people struggle with like just getting something out onto a piece of
Mhm.
paper. But if you can write, it's just like drawing. Well, it's not just like drawing, but like it's similar enough to being able to express your
Yeah.
feelings and emotions, those kinds of things, those kinds of yeah, it's another outlet. It is still art. It is still something you can produce and make people go, wow, that's amazing. You don't need to produce 1,000K fan fiction.
Mhm.
You don't need to like put something out there that'll make, everyone stop and go, wow, this is so cool. Put out what is closest to you. Put out what you are proud of, that you're happy with sharing with other people.
Mm. For
Yeah.
for the listeners, what are some like places people could access like fandom writings, or wanting something to read?
The big one is AO3.
Classic.
That's the classic, even though the owners are kind of shitheads. But
There's a furry section in AO3. That's sick.
There's furry sections in AO3, but mostly you're looking for like media relating to certain fandoms,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of where AO3 falls down. I don't really know a lot of sites that are about sharing just purely
That might be a good question for the listeners. Like, let
yeah,
us
no.
know. There is actually a comment section both in the YouTube and the Spotify. So let us know.
If anyone wants to share any of their insights, then I will be on one of those
Yeah,
sites
Frey will be
immediately.
accessing those immediately.
Yeah, there's also music, dancing. Those things
Yeah,
can also really,
I love a furry rave. We love a
yeah,
furry
we
rave.
love a good rave. Just because you're not producing the kind of music or you're not making the kind of music that's like, oh, this isn't popular right now. As long as
Dog music is always good. I love. Oh, I can't wait till we do the dog music episode. Oh my god.
the important part of any of this, about all of this, is you're expressing yourself. You're
Hmm.
expressing your own art, and yeah, that's the important part.
Yeah.
There's also, and this is perhaps the biggest entry into the furry fandom. Everyone can fall down this rabbit hole. Is role playing.
Role play.
Playing D&D and pirating those books because those are way too expensive. Uh, Even just D&D, there are thousands of tabletop RPGs. There are
Hmm.
thousands of ways to explore characters and like mess
And
around
there
with those
are
kind of things.
anthropomorphic characters in those worlds, or you can just make one.
Yeah, no, there are 100 anthropomorphic characters in every single game because the people who make tabletop RPGs are furries.
Tabletop episode when?
Oh god, I've got a couple of games that I would want to
Oh, that'd be so much fun.
like.
We could even maybe like play one on the pod.
Yeah,
We'll see.
the thing is like you want to. There are so many different like game systems that are just like fun.
Mm.
Recently, I've played Heart.
What's
Uh,
that about?
Heart is too complicated to explain in one sentence. Essentially, you live. You're playing as random pseudo fantasy characters living in
Mhm.
this giant, ever changing uh maze with the titular heart at the center of it, and
Okay.
it it's dark. It's a very dark fantasy. Your character dies eventually. That's just unavoidable.
Spoilers.
But like it's just an interesting place for like kind of because of the way the skills are, it's very open ended. It lets you
Hmm.
kind of discuss what kind of character you are going to be and like how you're going to interact with this greater world. And obviously, it goes without saying that homebrewing is like definitely an important thing you can do.
Homebrewing is engaging with creativity and art.
Yeah, and you can also play as a train paladin. So like you know,
Like a paladin of trains.
yes, explicitly a paladin of trains. One of your capstones is you get to be hit by a train exactly once. There's also games like Lancer or Armor Stir. These are both mech combat games.
Mhm.
Lancer is much closer to the actual like moving minis around a table and resolving combat encounters. Armor Stir is definitely more role play heavy.
Yeah.
But like there's really no limit on like the settings you can use or like the characters you can play as.
I know we're talking about tabletop at the moment, but also I want to bring up like video games. I know for a fact that you can totally get some cheap furry games.
Oh yeah, no.
I want to mention web fishing. Web
Web
fishing is
fishing is really
great.
good.
Web fishing is awesome. I love fishing on the web being a little dog animal. Yeah, and like web fishing also kind of ties with like chat rooms, right? Like that's another way that you can engage with community, especially like people
Yeah.
who, maybe deal with like a little bit of agoraphobia or, struggle, especially like as neurodivergent people, sometimes it's very difficult to feel like you can handle crowds. Chat rooms and online spaces like VR chat or web fishing are beautiful ways to ease you into being able to connect with community.
Yeah.
Sort of circling back with the talking about artist alleys, I would like to sort of make a general recommendation to every artist that's listening. You guys should be, you should host a swap day or like a trade day, or my personal favorite, a barter market. Barter markets are awesome. Basically, everyone brings like just things. Doesn't have to even be like art you've made. It could just be like trinkets or like pretty rocks or just like anything, right? And You just go around, you look at what people have, and you're like, I will give you this for this. And oh my god, it's so much fun. It's so much fun because no one is there. It doesn't feel serious. It's just like, yeah, that art's really cool. Can I give you like 3 rose quartz for it? And it's like, hell yeah, you can.
I'll give you 5 of these shiny rocks if you.
Yeah. I found this abalone shell. Can I have your, can I have that cool bit of stationery that you've got? Yeah, and like I
Yeah.
got a lot of particularly like queer and trans friendly clothes swaps. This is a really beautiful way to find clothes that you might not feel comfortable buying in a shop. You also get them for free. These happen a lot, and if you feel like you can't find any, post them. There's such power in activating your own community and being like, all right, this thing's happening, let's go.
Yeah, community is the most important part.
Again, it's the point, right? It's like
Yeah.
fur meets are just communal spaces. I love me a fur meet because they're free.
Yeah.
Go bring some food and have a doggy picnic. That's the best. Come on.
Yeah.
It's again, it's just use what you have and recognize that you don't need anything new. You can just live and engage with community, and it's so powerful to do that, and it feels amazing. A little anecdote that I kind of hinted at earlier in the pod about how saving can be really rewarding, and being able to save for something that you want can be really powerful. This is where I reveal to those who do not know. I have some a secret little special bit of information. I
Mm?
have officially paid for Wren's fursuit.
Let's go.
Oh my gosh.
So excited.
Every time I think about it, I quite literally feel like I'm gonna cry.
It's so
Because
cool.
it was so weird. I paid for it, and it was like I had this moment of like, oh my god, I've basically waited a decade for
For that one moment where it's all paid
it's
off and
paid
it's all.
for. And the
Yeah.
update pictures, oh my god, it's so good. That's my baby dog. I will say immediately right now, thank you so much to Frog Dog Designs. You are an absolute gem. Thank you so much. You're doing an incredible job. You're also going really fast, which is very much like I'm so impressed. I am so impressed by the work that you've been making. It's wonderful. You're making my dreams come true, basically. Also, I believe uh Frog Dog Designs also still currently has commissions open, so go get your fursuit. Let be my fursuit sibling. That would be so cool. Be
Yeah, it's important.
the sibling to the angel puppy. And the fact that it like took me, so I started actively saving for Ren's suit. Basically as soon as I left WAF, I was like, yep, all right, I need Ren's suit for next year's WAF. So that was like September. So I worked extra shifts and pushed hard to make sure that I was really like viciously saving for it. But I was able to do it in like 3 to 4 months, and this is your sign to just try. If you have the means by which to try and save for it, and you really want to, it's worth it. And I don't regret waiting or saving. Honestly, it kind of enriched my final experience. It made that moment of being like, yep, I can pay right now. You are my fursuit maker. Let's do this. Like my inner child almost can't believe it.
Yeah, it's just nice. It's just sweet. It's just
Yeah.
everything. It's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of I feel very emotional every time I see update photos, and it like sums up everything that I care about in the fandom. And the reason that I'm still here and that I'm engaging with it and making content for it. It's like it's special in a way that I can't put into words. I'll probably cry when I get her, which is probably why I won't like record me doing an unboxing. I know it's cool to do like, oh, first an unboxing. It's like no, because I'll be in tears. I'll be a mess. I can't be doing that. I can't be putting that on the internet.
Oh, I can't be showing that side of me.
No, I can't be putting me bawling my eyes out to a foam dog head on the internet. But I will obviously like do a showcase of her when I am recovered from crying. And I
Yeah.
think that's like what we are trying to say with this episode is the joy of the hobby and the play and creativity of it all is the point. That is the Broke Furries guide. Is follow the joy.
The most important part of this whole fandom you can bring to the table is yourself.
Oh, I love that. That might be the episode quote. The most important part is you.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, the real wealth is the friends we made along the way.
Really, when you think, oh,
Yeah, just engage with the community, especially in times like these. It's nothing is more important than connection and building long-lasting love and richness in your life through the way that you engage with the community around you. Engage with us. We are part of your community. You have us. If you feel like you have no one else to talk to about the fandom, come talk to us. Like, come sit on the pod and just like listen to us talk to you about it. We need each
yeah.
other more than ever.
Yeah, we all need to talk to each other and build these senses of community and togetherness, especially given what's happening in the world. Like there's no talking around it. It's not the best out there.
It's scary, and what the fandom gives us is a place to be ourselves. There's no transactions, there's no data, there's no tracking. It's just us. And it can just be that. And I think that's powerful. So, with that all being said, thank you so much for listening. Frey, what would you like to shout out today?
I'd like to shout out just like all the artists who have been encouraging us to be the most us we can be.
Heck yeah. I want to make if we're talking about artists specifically, I want to make a shout out to one of my dearest mutuals who has been actively supporting the pod, and I was literally messaging this morning my darling Leo, Captain Leo on Instagram. You are a blessing. You're so cool. I know that you're eventually going to get to this and you'll hear this and you'll probably feel a little emotional about it. You are awesome. You inspire me every day. And thank you for being my friend.
Shout out to famed Rivals of Aether workshop creator Open Gunner who spotted me the money to buy Fray.
Oh, amazing!
Thanks,
That's
Gunner.
awesome.
I'll pay you back in as many photos of this as I can take, and also the money
Yeah.
that I owe you.
Relevant to the episode.
Relevant to the episode, pay back your debts.
Well, it seems like it is closing time here at the Candid Kennel. We are cleaning up the glasses, we are closing the windows, we are stacking the stools. So, if you want to find us elsewhere, you can find me at Renzoy on Instagram and Blue Sky if you're an adult.
Yeah, and you can find me as Frey Coyote Fox in basically everywhere.
I will never be normal about the way you say coyote.
Don't worry, I'm barely normal anyway.
Thank you so much for listening to episode 2, and we hope to see you again.
Yeah, I hope you have a good night. See ya.
Sleep well. Bye.
Bye.